Greetings, everyone. It is an honor to be here with you. I am Aurora. I am the founder of A.U.R.A Hypnosis Healing, which is a past future life regression, and it is a entity removal. I am the author to Galactic Soul History of the Universe. Yes, which is right here, book one, both in paperback and ebook. You can find in Spanish and in English under Amazon. If you feel the call for and you feel it in your heart, you will know that this is the book that you want to read. It as far as completely catalyzing and awakening within you the memory of who we are within ourselves, within our world, and within our universe. Beautiful. It is an honor to be here with you. Thank you, thank you, thank you once more. Now, you've read the title. It is called Yeshua and His Divine Plan. He knew it all, as he did. So we'll be going through, I'll be communicating telepathically some of the messages that he delivered over to me. He's been delivering over to me since my birthing stages on earth and my great awakening. And we already have some of your questions, so feel free to add any questions now in chat. Tell you a little bit more about me. I offer Galactic Akashic readings as well as the A.U.R.A Hypnosis Entity Removal technique. I offer those sessions as well as raw Reiki session. You can find those more information about that under my risingphoenixaurora.com website, as well as under Patreon, where I teach live courses and classes. We have retreats coming up in Mount Shasta. Mount Shasta is going to be powerful. It is August 14 is the first day, and it ends August 18. About 5 days. Meals and food will be provided, and you learn how to practice these healing modalities that are self-healing for yourself, whether it be for the collective publicly or whether it be for yourself and your family. If you haven't watched our A.U.R.A hypnosis sessions, you will understand why it is that you want to do that. We also have tons of testimonials under our playlist. You can check out those testimonials. Beautiful. Manchester's going to be gorgeous. If you haven't been there, you definitely want to be there. But it is a completely different experience if you go with us, because we are very strongly in love light, and we also are practicing organic fields of memory, which you're actually going to learn some of this through Yeshua's teachings today. So it's a very different experience than perhaps you would experience with someone else, because we do honor, love, and respect all souls. So this is the way that we live this as we are there. Wonderful. You can get more information of that on my website. Let's get started. Beautiful. I want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh yes, and we have the live online workshop, because we teach it, both A.U.R.A Hypnosis Past Life Regression and the raw Reiki, which are both entity removal techniques. We teach them both online workshops or in-person retreats. So both are taught. The next online one is in June. Again, find more information under my website. Let's get started. Wow, what a powerful, powerful time and space to be here with you all, communicating these sacred teachings. Exciting times. Okay, now going over with you. So let's begin. Amazing. Let's begin. I'll be drinking water because that's how I channel. Water helps me channel. So he'll be speaking through me, through my heart, and he'll be giving me, again, telepathic messages, and you all can just ask questions in chat. We have many there assisting, logging your questions. Let's begin. What a journey we've all been on, huh? Such a profound journey. Some of my first channelings were Divine Father, which is Archangel 4, which we'll be talking a little bit more about him in the next video to come, the Twin Flame Sacred Union, the 222. And then also Yeshua. Yeshua was my first channelings that I ever did, as well as Mother Mary. We're going to go into the timeline of what he meant through some of those beginning teachings and what he wants to add on now for us to understand. Okay, once more, honor it is. Whew. Every time I talk from his expression, it is this infinite love that is hard, makes your throat a little bit like it wants to release, and perhaps some tears of joy and love of his infinite love that profoundly channels out. Anytime you connect to him, you can connect to him at any point, meditation. And we already know some of he's talked about his past classes and his teachings that I have I have a whole playlist of Yeshua and Mother Mary. You can check out those previous videos. So what I'm going to be talking about today is new content and information. So we already know that the Illuminati has programmed society, specifically perhaps Christianity, Catholic, they inverted what he actually taught, and they actually hid the real sacred Bible. He's talked about that, as the Vatican, and they have it hidden, the real one, and then they changed everything, just about a good amount. You're still going to find accurate teachings in the Bible in some of these religions. However, you're not going to find them at their purity, at their fullest. So there's going to be distortion within them. Wonderful. So let's go into the timeline. So from the beginning of time and space, he was who helped assist Grid. So let's talk about his birthing. You really want in depth, again, watch all those videos that we talked about him, and then also we channeled his twin flame, Mary Magdalene. So you can watch those. So let's talk about his birthing point. Now, his birthing point, the way that I can explain is that, so there's source. Then source, there's Sophia, Divine Mother Sophia, which is the collective of Divine Feminine within source. And then there is Divine Father Crystal, which is the collective of the Divine Masculine energies. Now together they merge and they become one. So there isn't quite a separation in source, but there is individual separation, which we'll talk about that in the next twin flame video, which is going to actually come right after this video. So stay tuned live again. Now, okay. And then they birthed out the daughter of the flame. So they birthed out the very first universe. The very first universe was the Phoenix, which is the universe that we live upon. We are just in if you want, a galaxy. We are in a fractal piece, say, of our universe. We are in a location which is like the school, up to the 13 dimensions, but they can go higher. Now, as the first fractalizations that came out of source could be seen as the angels. They are the angels, the archangels, the seraphim angels. They're the creators of creation. And we have a channeling I did on the archangels. We'll add all links below once this video is done in a couple hours, so that you can click these links and refer to them, where they explained of the tree of life and how the tree of life began creation. So they are the fractals of the branches of, like, if the tree of life, you look at a tree, they're the leaves, and then when they birth out through the trunks, they birth out into a multitude of galactic races. So they're the elders of creation. Okay, and they're multidimensional, infinite. All right, so we understand that. So ensuring that you understand that. Okay, listening, making sure I don't miss anything. Now, so we understand that and we'll talk about these separations of twin flames, but still union next. Okay, now, as we were going through, then after the elders birth out from the sacred union of the universe, which is the daughter of the flame, and her twin flame, which is Archangel 4. Archangel 4 consists of 4 beings, which we're not ready to share yet, but I will share 3 with you, 2 with you. We'll channel the 3rd maybe coming up. So there's Archangel Michael and Archangel Lucifer, and there's 2 other male masculines that actually, so there's 4 beings that make up Archangel 4. Now, the daughter of the flame actually is the Divine Mother of creation. So she's the Phoenix. So therefore she makes up the entire space of unification, the very beginning. If you're looking at a grass field, she'd be the center. If you're looking at a flower, she'd be the center, seed at the center that replicates. So from there, then they birth out, and the archangels and the elders created the very first race of creation, which was the Christ consciousness. So the very first sacred birthing, that the daughter of the flame, which was the universe beginning to birth itself and multiply infinitely, and divine father, archangel 4, who stem forth out of source. Both of them are mother and father, but they're out of source. They become the universes. Once they birthed out, they created their very first galactic race, if you want to call it that, which is the Christ consciousness. And it began with Yeshua. So he was their first child, but then too, he also is also the twin flame union with Mary Magdalene. So it was both of them. They were the first son and daughter of creation. Isn't that beautiful? So from the beginning of my awakening and my remembering, as Yeshua tells us, is that we're just remembering, right? He would remind me these pieces as a child, always by my side. And he does that for everyone in creation. And I'll explain that why. But we just have to remember, right? Because we've been so programmed by religion and all these different dogma on what really is source. That it is infinite love, no judgment, no rules. There's sacred laws that keep balance, but it's not like a rule where there's penance. None of that is real, of course. Okay. So if you think about it that way, then you understand that, wow, that is vast, right? So Yeshua, Mary Magdalene, first children of creation. And then there were elders as well that duplicated. And again, we've talked about that in other past videos. For more information on how they duplicated, you want to watch the 4 Centaurs playlist and the 13 Keys playlist. All right. And now, okay. Now that Yeshua explained that. So therefore, when we were creating the very first grading of earths, of the multitude of earths, and the school, of course, who to be the ascended master, the angelic master of that, but of course himself and herself, the twin flame union of Yeshua and Mary Magdalene. Now, if you go back, and a couple years ago, maybe about 2 years ago, 2020, I channeled Noah. And it was quite a surprise for me, as I'm channeling for the majority. I don't know exactly what they're going to talk about. I do know bits and pieces. So he explained through this channeling that he was Noah's Ark was the beginning of Pangea. And he was also Yeshua. He's Jesus, Yeshua. And he explained how he assisted in splitting the Pangea lands so that they can fractalize and come into their perspectives of ley lines and keys of the 13 keys. So think about how grand that is for a minute. Okay, so if he was the first child of creation along with Magdalene, first children, they are the 13 keys themselves, which is why they both stand at the 13 keys. We teach these classes in the Isis Priestess course, which actually begins, open enrollment begins May 1st, a couple days. You can join us there. So the 13 keys consist of 13 sacred laws that are part of our universe's grading, specifically our school and our entire earth. It is magical. So these sacred laws are actually part of our chakras, our rainbow inside of us that go all the way up to the 13 DNAs, 13 sacred laws. Okay. More information, again, we directed you where, but there's the law of grace, the law of action, the law of potential, Shambhala. They all, law of rhythm, sacral chakra, law of free will, solar plexus, law of polarity, stellar gateway, law of vibration, throat chakra, law of cause and effect, third eye chakra, law of wisdom, crown chakra, law of surrender, earth star, law of evolution, soul star, and the universal gateway law of purpose. Okay, they all have numbers that correlate with the number of chakras, and these laws also connect to a different galactic guardian. And you can learn more about that in the Isis Priestess course. Okay, now, so you'll understand that. If you can envision, Earth is gridded in like two serpents that intertwine, like a DNA, like a double helix DNA structure. They're gridded like this. Okay, so this is how the keys work and how they hug the Earth in a spheric crown, like a crown formation, a circular formation that intertwines one another, encircling all of Earth. So when he explained that he was Noah, Yeshua was, and his twin flame was Magdalene then as well, he explained how the land split, right? And then where they rooted and activated within are where the sacred keys are at. And we have those locations. We also actually have a summary under risingphoenixaurora.com. You can read it now if you want to read these sacred laws. And it's we have a whole chapter of it in Galactic Soul History of the Universe, Book 1. Okay, so this gridded our entire foundation. And then what he explained is eventually when we channeled him, there were different times that he incarnated. He was also Horus, the daughter of Isis and Osiris, their first child. He was also there actually in Egypt. He was the son of Cleopatra. So he's been here in different cycles on Earth and gridding every time these 13 laws. And because he represents this, he is what his 13 keys, because in unity he's all of that. Plus the daughter of the flame and divine father would also be at the 13th key center, and all fractalizations of divine mother and father as well at the center. Now, okay, all right, since he is part of this, he helped move them in their spots. And he was part of activating the organic blueprint of the earth. Now, when he was activating the organic blueprint, this was all within free will choice, and everyone can play out their free will choices. We knew that there was going to be, as he was gridding them so that if there were any challenges to come forth, for if those people who chose within their free will expression, if they chose an inverted timeline, or if they had someone that was close to them that chose an inverted timeline, that they would always have the option to tap into those organic blueprints that would then wake them up again if at their choosing. It also, this gridding within Earth has a 45-degree angle. So if you watch our recently A.U.R.A Hypnosis, Flowers of the Multiverse, there was a beautiful, we did that in Sedona retreat live, where we taught again A.U.R.A and A.U.R.A, and we had a live session. We do that every time we do live teachings. And we had a beautiful person that was selected. Their name is selected, and the divine always chooses, their higher self chooses. She was speaking of the flowers, and then how they kept saying 45, 45. So the way, what that actually means is that it means triangles, because all of Earth, once Yeshua graded it all crystalline, there were triangles. There's many different triangles that actually connect to the Earth's pyramids, the 144 main beacon, but there is thousands of them. There's 144 main beacons. These 144 main beacons are under growth, and they might look just like, they're pointy structures, but they're actually pyramids. There are pyramids that are both upright and also upside down that grid the entire earth. So this is what he gridded. He also explained, Yeshua explained in one of my first channelings, yes, when he explained his crucifixion, he explained that when he ascended out from his vessel, when he ascended out of his 3D vessel, that he, at that point, became fractalized. Like if you could envision like a beautiful rose or a cluster of crystals, right? So if you envision a rose and it blooms out, and say you blow on it like a dandelion, and every single one of those petals expands, and then his 13 keys were further gridded at the time of his passing when he was in Jerusalem and he was in a scene. It exploded out and it gridded and it coded inside the crystalline blueprint, a foundation of earth. You understand? So what we are explaining to you is that everything that was to come from when he passed away from Jerusalem, he knew of it, every single bit of it, of the collective. So that's what he's been doing, speaking to me, speaking to others. He has been all parts of all the courses that we teach, teaching us, bringing those Essenes back. And, there's even clients that don't know about this, but they talk about it. Their higher selves talk about it. Now, we also channel the Essenes. You could look into that. So that's who he was. He was an Essenes. His whole life, he was being prepared so that when his death would come forth into rebirth, he would then expand and crystallize his Christ consciousness. Therefore, what you could understand is that in some form, all people of earth are descendants of Yeshua and Mary Magdalene. And they are also Christ consciousness. Everyone, of course, has Christ consciousness encoded into the blueprint. And we could all be seen like the Essenes. We are the Essenes, reawakening, rebirthing. There was something that happened this month. I can't tell you the exact date, but what I can tell you is that these triangles that I'm speaking of completely at this point crystallized because of the bifurcation, the trifurcation of the two-third world splitting that we've been talking about. There is a playlist on the two-third world split that you can watch. Because of this bifurcation, it allowed for the original blueprints, the geometric symbols, the alchemy, because this earth is all alchemy, to activate and come online. And the way it's looked as it is multiple triangles intertwining with one another, and they are golden with rainbow shimmers inside of it, the infinity. This memory holds, these triangles hold the memory of all life form that has incarnated on earth. So in order for you to come into the simulation, we have again a playlist on the matrix simulation if you want to watch that. So in order for you to come into the simulation, you need to come into an illusional physical body. You plug in, boop, and come into here. But before you plug in, there has to be, and you're agreeing to it, there has to be the coding of your galactic perspectives, collective races, and expansion. It has to be coded into these pyramids. So in order for all the environments and all the different ecosystems of our earth, the water, the earth, 7 elements and beyond of our elements and the periodic table, all of these that consist of the natures are encoded. Everything is encoded into these pyramids that surround and embrace earth, encoded. Now, through all this time, they have been infringing upon it, the Illuminati, using people to cloud these spaces. But what I can tell you that is, since the bifurcation, the official bifurcation of the 12/21/21, they can't do it anymore. They can invert it and add more black magic in the inverted 2-world split, that side of the world. But if you are walking the organic blueprint of earth, they cannot, because there's just not a matching vibration to it. So again, choose which world you want to walk. Okay, but with that, there's so much, there's many trickeries, many false masks that will pull you into false paradigms, false illusional matrix information that is often downloaded by the archons, the reptilians. We talked about them all the time. Entities, negative entities that download them into people that speak and channel, or just don't, sometimes who just communicate for themselves. So that's how they add on. That's how they go to these sacred spaces, because they are aware of some of them. And then these sacred spaces are of extreme sacredness. You could actually teleport. If you are a matching vibration and you are an organic soul, you do not have any entities, implants, portals, whatever in you, you can go to these sacred locations, which are gridded with the pyramids, and actually portal out. You can do it consciously, but you can actually do it physically if you were a matching vibration again. But you have to be organic vessel. Okay. And of course, you can't be in service to self, because it's you won't even be able to. This energy will repel you and it'll make you sick. If you're at any of these pyramids and you are trying to infringe, it will make you sick. Or you have something in you that's trying to infringe or spy or affect, it will make you won't be able to retain the vibration, because it's too benevolent in nature. Okay. All right, so let me make sure, Yeshua. So what he explains is that the Essenes, they were in Qumran, but it's Qumra. That's what they explain. Qumra, their village, which you can actually look that up and search for it. They have, they placed an invisibility cloak over it. They were maintained invisible for many, many centuries. They were the Atlanteans' descendants. They also explained that there are 12 caves around the Qumra. These 12 caves are, guess what? Points where, remember when we channeled the Essenes and they explained that the 12, 13 keys are able to be accessed in this location, and it has to do with the caves. That's all I can say on that. Now, they placed the Dead Sea Scrolls in these different locations, in these caves. Yeshua, this is all part of his divine plan, all of it, every bit of it, into these caves, these Dead Sea Scrolls. Every single one of those Dead Sea Scrolls represent the sacred laws of the 13 keys that we spoke about, that I communicated at the beginning. You understand? Okay. It's a lot more information than I thought it was going to take. Okay. So we're probably going to have to go over. All right. So we might start Twin Flame a little bit later, a couple minutes later. Okay. Now, so let me see from there. So what he wants to explain to you all is that this entire life of yours is a remembrance. Remembering the organic blueprint. So before you came in and you incarnated, you made up your organic blueprint and how you were going to assist yourself and how you were going to assist the collective. Okay. Then it coded into these pyramids that we were speaking of, the gridding of the entire earth. And they're just waiting for you to become the matching vibration of love light, to be able to access them, to be able to access your memory, who you are, what's next on your path divinely. But what happens is that you become clouded. You pulled into maybe many negative polarized agendas. You're pulled into what Yeshua wants to talk about, something Michael was explaining to us recently, and he was explaining this whole on the Ukraine, the attack on the Ukraine, and he was showing me how people, light workers, are being tricked into supporting that, and only if they knew that they are actually child trafficking children from there. And that's what I can say to that. So these are the kind of agendas that you're being pulled into, and you cannot, because then at that point you're walking the inverted world versus the organic. And if you're walking these false disclosures, false agendas, then it ripples out throughout your life, and you're like, why can't I get out of this hole? Why can't I create abundance? Or your children are also feeling it, and your family. So it's really important that you're really honoring yourself, and you don't allow, and you treat your heart as your compass. Okay, what else does Yeshua want to say? Okay, we're almost done. And I'll take a couple questions too. I know you have a couple questions. Okay, let me see. Make sure that he explained everything. So, what he can tell you that the organic blueprint is inside of Earth, right? But he also foresaw with Mary Magdalene in their sacred twin flame union, he was only to be as divinely powerful as he was when he came into full twin flame sacred union with Mary Magdalene, because at that point they were whole as twin flames. Now, he saw all of it, the wars. He saw the the clones, alien AI invasion clone. We did a video with Laura Eisenhower. He saw COVID. He saw all of it. All of it. And for all of it, he and the collective created a counter to all of it, and a plan A, B, C, D, E to Z and infinity. All of it. So if you think about it that way, we were aware of all of this prior to it all happening. Now, he wants you to find empowerment within yourself, truth within yourself, hope and love and understanding and respect within yourself, to remember this, that we already knew all of this. So don't allow to become fearful, to become doubtful within yourself, to become clouded. It's all there for you. Only a deep breath away to connect to it. The help is there, the assistance is there, the love light is there. Which path will you walk? Thank you, Yeshua, Mary Magdalene. It's all there. But even if it's inverted, the divine plan is there to counter it. And it's there for you to pull in and harness and bridge into your reality, your expansion, your creation. What were you created into? Okay. So let me see what questions he wants to answer in regards to what we spoke of. Yeah, sure. One of the most asked questions, the event, is how it's going to feel for each individual and collective. Okay, those who will, we've been speaking about this on our YouTube channel, but what he's saying is those who will be a matching vibration will feel it like an ecstasy, like this is etheric ecstasy. There's no word to it, honestly. But at that point, you lose your illusional vessel, you release it, and then you birth out. So if you could envision like a chrysalis, and you are, this whole entire life is you as a caterpillar inside the chrysalis. And when the physical ascension finally comes forth and it is over, it's done, it's the event, or the full final bifurcation, trifurcation, where the two worlds finally split off one another, the organic and the inverted, then this chrysalis that has been protecting you all your life and shielding you is just going to come right off of you, and you're going to come out like that caterpillar with butterflies out. It's going to feel wonderful, wondrous. Those of you who are still holding on to trauma and negativity and have not expanded and allowed yourself to grow will not experience it that way. They will be helped, though there are rays and rays of legions of angels that are ready to assist the different levels of consciousness, whether they're going to be in a higher or lower or almost there. So many opportunities will be given, and it depends on, are you a matching vibration to the ascension, to the event, to the bifurcation? Are you a matching vibration to infinite love light? Are you a clear vessel? Because if you have something inverted inside of you, it will automatically lower your vibration, and it won't allow for you to ascend up, because you never learned this lesson. And because you never learned this lesson, you never were able to release its inversion. And that's what we talk about, entity removal. Okay. So you have to be a matching crystalline soul to when the wave comes forth, because it will be a vast source flame. You have to be a matching to that, to ride with it and to fuse with it and to ride into up into the fifth dimension once more, or wherever you're going to go if it's not the fifth dimension. Okay, we do have to start the twin flames. Let me see if there's anything else I have to answer though. Yeah, sure. At this point, we're speaking of the energetic two-third world split. But has our Earth physically split, shifted for the split yet to some degree? It is in a splitting all the time. So you could say that the circles are more closer to one another. Closer, almost overlapping one another. And as the years pass, as the days pass and the hours pass, they go like this. And more do people choose? Do they choose to stay in the inverted, getting the, you know what, the V, and not healing it from themselves? They stay stuck here. And those who chose to stay organic raise that vibration collectively, and they assist and lift it for the splitting. All right, y'all, I'm going to take a 5-minute break just so I can recenter for the twin flame, and I'll see you in a couple minutes. Thank you. I love you, honor you, and respect you. Thank you, everyone.